everyone. Today I wanted to film a book tag. Now this is a book tag that I've come up with pieces of it myself, but other pieces I looked at other similar book tags and I have linked them down below, and so that you can see where some of my items on the book tag match some of theirs, but some of them I had to kind of make them my own. And if you want to do this book tag, that would be awesome. I will leave the questions down below, and I would love to hear someone else's take on this book tag, because the different bakeries have different cookies and different people over the world have different options, and so I'm really interested in seeing how it varies from person to person, place to place. So the book tag that I'm doing today is the Girl Scout Cookie Book Tag. And the reason that I'm doing the Girl Scout Cookie Book Tag today is because I am the troop leader for my daughter's Girl Scout group. So we've been selling cookies for a few weeks now, and I actually have a ton of cookies in my house. So just wanted to have a little fun with it, because it's a lot of hard work, but it's also really rewarding. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about with Girl Scout cookies. I'm not being sponsored by Girl Scouts as a troop leader. It's completely a voluntary role, so I am an adult volunteer basically. And also the cookies themselves, so a little bit about Girl Scouts. Most troops, especially that have the younger levels in the troop, their main resource for funds to supply money that gives them the options of doing a lot of the different activities they do come from the fall product sale and the cookie sale. And so just, keep that in mind, that it's not just about a tasty treat. It's about helping these girls and do activities. I'm not talking just about camping. I'm talking about even the simple things that they do at their meetings to earn their patches. And there is always an educational and a good-spirited drive to what they do. And so I really feel comfortable, talking about Girl Scouts and supporting the endeavor. So if you get a chance, you see some Girl Scouts, just realize that when you buy cookies, you're helping them do great activities within their troop and within their communities. And also, if you want cookies, you need to find a troop in your area. I'll leave a link down below where you can search using your zip code, and you can find Girl Scouts in your area. The only time I would say to look outside the area is if you want a cookie that's offered by one of the other bakeries. And if that's the case, then you might talk to whatever Girl Scouts you can find in your area, and they would be able to maybe connect you to another troop for that. So, there's that. So, we would love to sell cookies to you, but it's best if you go through whoever's in your local area. So, there's that. Okay, so the questions are not in a particular order, but I've ordered the cookie boxes because I'm going to show the actual boxes. Another thing, I am in Texas, and the part of Texas that I'm at uses the ABC Bakery. There's another bakery that supplies cookies to Girl Scouts across the United States. So my questions and the boxes that I'm showing are geared towards that bakery and those cookies. So if you say, why is she calling the Samoas that? That's because we don't call them that. The names are somewhat different. Sometimes the formulas for the cookies are different, because that's what happens when you go through different bakeries and they're across the United States. And I moved my camera slightly off topic. I moved my camera, and this is these are cat trees. And so this right here, if you see a tail or a foot, this is my kitty. Here, I'll show you. This is my Kanye. Kanye, say hi. Hi. He's trying to take a nap in the cat tree and bothering him. So, okay. So anyway, not a part of the video. So, number 1 is for the new s'mores cookie. And here it is, the s'mores cookie. And it's different in my area than it is in other people's areas. And it is a new book that you want to read. What is a new book that you want to read? Because the s'mores cookie is a new cookie, and so you might want to try it out. It's really tasty. I really am loving it. And the new book that I want to read is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and it comes out next Tuesday, the 28th of February, and it's an Own Voices YA book. Has to do with police brutality, the Black Lives Matter movement, and just some really interesting themes that I'm excited to read about. So I've heard some other people talking about it. So for a new book you want to read, that is my choice. Number two is for the shortbread. And so here's what the shortbreads look like in my area. Yeah, shortbreads. Okay. And what is a simple classic that you love? And so classic is kind of like and to say simple, like the shortbread is a simple cookie, to say a simple classic, well, okay, what makes a book a classic generally is the fact that it's not all that simplistic, but bear with me on that one. The book that I chose for that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I am a high school English teacher. I am actually teaching this book whenever we come back from break. We're on winter break right now. So I am looking forward to teaching it. It is a rich book. I love it. When I read it as a student, I didn't have quite the same love for it as I do now, but having taught it for years, it's just so rich and detailed and wonderful, and I am excited for that. So that was a simple classic. Thin Mints, a popular book that you devoured. Because let's be honest, if you like Thin Mints, you start eating those Thin Mints, they just go. So here is my box of Thin Mints. It's a very iconic box. Right? Like, yes, I love a Thin Mint. I love all the cookies, really. And so that would be, the popular book that I devoured would be Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, because I love mixed media books. Like, I'm not eating, no apologies, whatever. And this is a beautiful book. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, but it's like all the details in the cover, all the details in the graphics. Like, it's just wonderful. Yes, I love Gemina too, and I'm excited for the third book. Okay, up next, Caramel Delites, a guilty or not so guilty pleasure book. And so, I have it backwards. So, Caramel Delites, other places call them Samoas, I know that. And so my guilty or not so guilty pleasure books would be basically anything from Cassandra Clare. I have read 5 of the books from the, the Mortal Instruments series. I have yet to read the Clockwork Princess, all those. Like, those are, like, literally on my, because I have this one to the side, but I want to read the Clockwork ones because someone told me it was better to do it that way. So, whatever, anyway, I plan on reading them, and they're not great writing, but I enjoy them for whatever reason, and so those are, like, my guilty pleasures, so. Okay. Up next is the Peanut Butter Patties. And I think they go by a different name in other places. And it is, what is a book that was recommended to you? Because the Peanut Butter Patties are like a highly recommended cookie. So, there you go. And they're really good. It's the whole peanut butter chocolate situation. Like, it's hard to mess that up. And so they're a really good recommendation. So a book that was recommended to me is Neurotribes by Steve Silberman. And I've had this on my shelf for a little while, and it's honkin' big nonfiction book. But the reason that this was recommended to me was from another lady in my book club, and we were talking about autism. For those of you who don't know, I have a teenager who is on the autism spectrum, and so I'm always looking into keeping myself informed and learning about new research and all that, and so this came highly recommended, and so I'm looking forward to reading that hopefully later on this year, maybe in the summer. Like, I do better with nonfiction in the summer, and some of you are thinking, that is so weird because summer is time for beach reads. Okay, whatever, I don't know. Up next is the peanut butter sandwich cookie. Here they are. They're in this, like, orange box. And it's like a Nutter Butter, right? Like, it's like a cookie and peanut butter, and it's not as sweet as the other ones. And for me, personally, it's just okay. Like, I'll eat them. I like them. They're good. But they're not the first ones that I reach for. It was just okay. And so for that one, what's a book that you've read that was just okay? And for that one I picked, and this one might make some people mad because I know that there are people who really love this book, but Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. It was just okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. I mean, after a while, it was just, the protagonist was kind of annoying, and I felt like there were opportunities to deal with issues of class and race and gender, and those opportunities were kind of skipped over. So, I don't know, it was just okay. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Okay, up next, the thanks-a-lots, and then Girl Scouts puts the thanks-a-lots in this like noisy packaging, right? And it's supposed to be, I guess, like environmentally friendly in some way. I don't remember all the details, but it's a shortbread cookie with chocolate on the back, so it's a tasty cookie. It's a good coffee cookie. And for that one, the question is, what is a book that you were thankful that you've read? So, thankful for what reason? You know, it's up to you. The book that I chose, and there were lots of books that I could choose, is My Own Country, A Doctor's Story by Abraham Verghese. Verghese? Okay. And this is a memoir about a doctor working in a small town in Tennessee during the beginning of the AIDS crisis. And the reason that I'm thankful for reading this was the book that got me started on reading about HIV and AIDS and learning about the issues that go with that, not just in the United States, but worldwide. And I feel like it has made me a more compassionate person to learn more about this terrible virus and ways to prevent it and ways that legislation and social commentary has kind of dealt with it. And I just feel like there are lessons that we can learn from that, and we're still dealing with that, because if you research like the prices of the drugs and the availability to them, and again we get into issues of class and race and gender, and so it's just really an interesting topic to me, and I'm thankful that I've read that book because I feel like it's made me a better person in learning about a topic that I had not had interactions with in my own life. So there's a way to experience growth without actually going through something like that. And then the last cookie that I have listed here, I don't have any of the gluten-free cookies because you have to order them online, and I hadn't bothered to do that. So the last cookie that I have to show you guys are the lemonades. And the lemonades come in the same loud packaging as the Thanks-a-Lots. They are also shortbread cookie that's the same size, and they're really flat, but they have like the sweet-ish lemon flavor to them, and they're really good. I really like them. And they've been around for a while. And for that one, the lemonades became my new favorite when my daughter started selling Girl Scout cookies. Before that, I had only tried like the big three is what I call them. The caramel delights, the peanut butter patties, and the thin mints. Like those were the ones that my family would buy. And so I didn't know anything about the lemonades until my own daughter started selling them, and they became like a new favorite for me. And so for that one, what is a book that is a new favorite for you? And the book that I chose is Ruby by Cynthia Bond. And I read this last year as part of the book club pick in the book club that I'm in. I love Cynthia Bond's writing. I know that it's really over the top for some people, but I just think that it's just very beautiful. And for those that don't know, I'm in East Texas, and so her setting is just spot on, and it's rich, and it reminds me of like Toni Morrison, like take Beloved and turn it up a notch. Like that's what it feels like to me when I read it. And so I hear that she had many pages in her manuscript when she was writing Ruby. And so I'm excited to see what Cynthia Bond puts out next. Like I'm a fan. So I think not only is this like a new favorite book for me, but I think it's a new favorite author for me. So I guess we'll see. All right, well, that is the book tag, the Girl Scout cookie book tag. I wrote some of those questions for myself, and in some of the questions I sort of looked at what other book tags were out there. Again, if you don't have those kind of cookies, then, you know, you can change it to make it fit for you, because that's exactly what I did. You don't have to have packages of cookies in your video, but since I have a house full of them right now, I thought, why not show the cookies that I'm talking about when I do this? Thank you for watching. I'm not going to tag anyone explicitly, but I would love to see other people do their takes on this and talk about Girl Scout. Like, if you don't know about the Girl Scout organization, I don't know how you don't, but look into it and see that, like, it's really good. It reaches a lot of lives of girls all across the world. And I want to see other people. So consider yourself tagged. I won't just tag anyone explicitly, but consider yourself tagged. All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.